Right,
Saka's
so let's
country.
get into it. England.
What about them?
So
Where's it
OTC.
going first?
OTC. I'll let you start with England because you was the
Okay.
advocate in the group chat, and then we'll come in. Oz can probably back you up because Oz was very England as well, but obviously you was leading that train with the
Yeah.
train driver that one. So
Yeah.
do you want to start with the Italy game?
Yeah. We'll start. I think to be fair, that's probably the
I didn't watch all that. I watched probably about half of it.
no, I watched
I
all of
watched
it. It was you know what, the Germany game that was all a bit of friendly to be fair because England were relegated. There was nothing really on the line, so it might as well be a friendly. The big one was the Italy one. That was a very frustrating game because before that, I think England, looking at their team in general, looking at the whole squad, they had enough to blow out Italy. Enough to blow out Italy. Um, but it was just a boring game. England were losing the ball every 3 seconds. Like I think I looked at I think who scored as well.com, and I think the average sequence of passes was like 6 for England and it was about 4 for Italy. Like these two teams were just rubbish. Um, individual mistake from Kyle Walker, well, a little bit of individual mistake from Kyle Walker, a brilliant strike from um, the Italian forward. But I, for me, the biggest problem in the Italy game, in my opinion, was mainly the attack because Italy kept the clean sheet against us. That's poor. I'm not here like with all the attacking brilliance that we've got. Italy kept the clean sheet against us. Germany game will get onto that in terms of like the defending, but the attack was a problem in the Italy game, and it's been a problem for the last 6 games in a row. And Gareth Southgate in that game was poor, man. He was poor. The setup. Even though the setup was poor, I can somewhat fathom it. I can understand it. Yeah, Saka left wing back. I can somewhat understand the rationale behind it because
Yeah,
left
that
wing.
that 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 positioning for that game in particular, that kind of shocked me still when I saw that he was at left wing back.
Yeah,
Like, cause like I say, I tuned in halfway in the game, so when I started seeing it, I just thought I was dropping back, and then I think I heard one of the commentators saying, "Ah, him playing at left wing back," and I was kind of surprised. I was thinking, man, ain't played that since I think it was
His
when
first
Emery was
season.
Arsenal's manager.
Yeah, his first
You see
season.
him,
Yeah, his first season. Yeah,
I
that's how
understood
long
it
ago.
though. I understood it because simply because the left backs for England, whether it will be Trippier who gets injured, who potentially could be injured for the World Cup, we never know. This guy gets injured every season regularly. You've got Ben Chilwell, who last season played a total of 7 Premier League games. So that's another story for another day. And Luke Shaw, who I think that is good enough to stop. But at the same time, it's difficult to justify if he's not playing regular football. Not even playing is not good enough for me. When
OT,
he has to play,
OTC. One thing for me, yeah, is that okay? He plays Shaka Day, yeah, but the issue is, yeah, is that he's brought Trippier in the squad, right?
yes,
Trippier can play left back. Yeah, he's played at club level for both, yeah, Tottenham and Atletico Madrid. Yeah, he's played there. Yeah,
hmm
well. Yeah, he's played there for England. Well,
yes,
and unless Southgate's saying, "Oh, I'm not playing him because I know what he does," it makes no season. It makes no understanding. No, it makes no sense as to why he did not pick him because you got the option there. You know, man could do a job. Yeah, I'm not, and this is nothing against Shaka, but you
mm,
put Shaka there, yeah, and now you put him under pressure yet to perform in that position. Clearly, he didn't perform, and
yes.
this like, what are you doing? Like, when all of a sudden does this man wanna like play some? He wants to play someone in a position that would makes literally no sense. Like he
It
always
makes
plays
sense. It makes
like
sense. It
like
makes sense
to,
if you're playing the right system. It makes sense
or
if you're playing the right system.
it
If
makes
you have
sense.
it wide, and have them as sort of like left midfielders and right midfielders. Well, Reece James could be a little bit on the defensive side, but if you have Saka being played that Trossard role where he just literally just focused on the attack and focused
Okay,
on that offensive work,
I understand
it
what you're
makes sense.
saying. I understand what you're saying, but the issue is that this guy for the last, what is it now, 3 seasons, 2 seasons, whatever it is, right, is literally like playing as a right-sided midfielder or right winger, like all the time. Yeah, in training, that's what man's playing. This ain't under 11s or under 13s or whatever. Yeah, where you tell a player, oh yeah, go and play this position in this game. Like, I want to see a good game. No, this is professional football. Like, this man's been training to play as a right-sided midfielder for season after season, and then all of a sudden one game, oh yeah, go and play left wing back. Mate, the man is clearly not going to be prepared for that, and hence the performance. you had Trippier on the bench, didn't use him. That I don't understand.
But at the same time, that was the biggest problem, though. The
I'm not
biggest
saying
problem was
that-
the attack. In that game, the biggest problem was the attack.
Mate, you're missing something. The biggest problem was the attack, but why was it the problem?
Because of the tactics. Because you had Kane, Saka, and Sterling effectively as 3 deep midfielders, as playing DMs, and none of them were pushing up forward. If you had them pushing forward, you had Saka and Reece James pushing out wide. I'm telling you, they would have got a lot of chances in that game. But they were just camping in the midfield.
But the issue you have is right. Kane always drops into midfield. That's what he does. This is why I keep on saying you need someone like a Rashford. Yeah, doesn't have to be him, but someone like him who's going to run past the defenders.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bench for the game, for the Italy game, and I'm just like, yeah, Grealish, who was on the bench, come off the bench with Shaw.
Yeah, he's not running past no one.
You had Ward-Prowse.
I agree.
He's not running past no one.
I'm just looking at things where you can give a bit more of a dynamic. You had Tammy Abraham, who was on the bench.
This is the problem. England's biggest problem. They don't have.
And the fact that he didn't get on, even as a sub, like I say, Italy was the one that was the game where they had to get something.
Yeah, of course.
Even if it was just a draw, you had to get something. And from what I saw of the game, it didn't even look like he set up to get anything from it.
No, he wanted to literally defend, nick a goal.
Sense.
He would defend, nick a goal on a corner, and then just defend. Literally.
Yeah, you weren't going to nick a.
Yeah, but that's
how can in that formation, bro? Like, bro, it doesn't even add up, man. Like, if it makes sense and it adds up, right? I get it, right? I won't agree with it, but I could somewhat understand it.
Yeah, but that's what he wanted to do.
But it doesn't add up.
Deep the setup, he wanted to nick a goal, and then defend. Hence why. Plus as well, and I keep on saying this, when you play Maguire, most managers are going to pick like 3 centre backs because Maguire is simply not good enough. So at that point, you got a problem. Because like I said, he should have went for the game. It doesn't have to be the formation I picked, 4-2-4, but he should have went with a 4 at the back and went for the game. He played 5 because he knows if he was going to admit to himself that Maguire isn't good in a back 4. We've seen it all last season for Man United. This man's not good enough for a back 4.
On the Italy game, right? On the Italy game, and this is why I was very, I was defending Maguire a lot after the Italy game. It's because if anybody gets a cold, it's Maguire's fault. If England concede a goal, it's Maguire's fault without even watching how that goal played out. Anything that happens wrong, it's all Maguire's fault. For me, it's a big scapegoat because during that game, England only conceded 1 goal in that game, right? 1 goal, and that was from a Kyle Walker mistake, and scored 0. They had 1 shot on target. Okay, that's not Maguire's fault.
Okay, watch this.
In that game,
Maguire sets the pace here for the defending. You remember that issue? At the back post, misses a header. Pope has to make a very good save. The ball drops at his feet. Instead of playing the ball to one of his teammates, he randomly kicks it out for a corner.
He has
That
a brain
sets-
dead moment. I agree. He's a
Mate,
bit tapped. He's a bit tapped.
mate,
Yeah, I
mate,
agree.
that sets the pace. Like once you start doing things like that, it makes the whole team nervous. Like I'm not saying he was the reason why England lost that game, as in conceded a goal, but you can't do things like that and then you expect the rest of your defenders to be okay. No, once people start making mistakes, and I've seen it for United so many times, he starts making mistakes, and then all of a sudden, people are just making bare random mistakes because he set the pace for the mistakes. Like he keeps on doing it.
Nah, you're just right now. You're just blaming. Like at this
It's not
point.
blaming. I just said he wasn't at fault for the goal necessarily, but
Okay, why did we lose
when,
that game?
But when we lost the game because Gareth Southgate decided to play like essentially five at the back and five in midfield, mate.
I don't know, from what I saw of that game, I didn't really see no real attacking play. So I was a bit confused. And then when I saw the line, like I said, I saw players out of position, and like I've always, it didn't look like a team. Like it just looked like a group of players thrown together and just sent out there. So for me, it was just a weird, from like I say, from the bit I watched about 30 minutes of it, and from what I saw in that, I think I see England have one or two attacks. I see. I watched. I think it was. I watched up until like 10 minutes after the Italy goal, and then even just before the Italy goal, I see Maguire get caught out. He gave away a free kick. His positioning in that game, like playing in the back three, was just all off because he looked like he was playing to the left of the back three, and he just looked so out of his comfort zone that it made no sense. And like I say, when you look at England in that system, it just don't look confident. And I think
what I don't understand
it goes
is like, when England have had their success, the formation they've played is 4 at the back in it, and then 2 CDMs.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Watch this. When we pumped Hungary, last year, I think it was 4-0. What was the formation?
I can't remember.
It was 4 at the back. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, this guy here goes into the Nations League, decides to play 5 at the back here because I'm telling you, this is what he's going to do in the World Cup. He's going to play 5 at the back because it's just like, okay, I'm not going to go in attack. I'm just going to defend, nick a goal, and then that's it. Like that's his mentality. That's Southgate's mentality. It's mad.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's
games,
wrong, man.
It is wrong. His best games in the last year is really when England is playing 4 at the back. Even if Maguire is in the team, that's been the best formation 4 at the back. So why all of a sudden, in the last few games, this guy's all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm playing 5.
I don't think it's the formation. I think
I think it is the formation.
England beat Germany in the Euros, playing a 5 at the back.
Yes,
if you remember.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, we get that, but in recent times,
what was the score in that game? 1-0.
I think it's 2-0.
I think they get with that game. Was it?
2-0.
I can't even remember what the score in that game was.
I think it was.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was 2-0.
It was 2-0. It was
2-0.
I know Sterling scored in that game.
But
I think
nonetheless, England need to go back here to the days of just playing 4 at the back. Having 2 centre backs who can defend 1-on-1 because you want your full backs to go forward. You want your wide midfielders to be wide, and you want whoever's going to play with Harry Kane to be in the box because Harry Kane is gonna drop deep, right? We know that already. So whoever's going to play with him, if it's Tony, Abraham, whoever it's going to be, just get them in the box. Like play 2. Like, what's the issue? Like,
Can I ask you something, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
And only you lot. And I've been thinking about this here.
Yep.
Would the team be better without Harry Kane and have Ivan Toney just sitting there camping in the box? Would the whole team function better without Harry Kane?
No.
Because I'm starting to wonder whether it's that Ronaldo, like Ronaldo, yeah? Like when you get Ronaldo out, the whole attack seems to start flowing better. I think if you get Kane out,
I don't think that's the case, and I'll tell you why. Because Tottenham get it to work perfectly fine. Like Kane drops deep, Song runs into space, Like it's not an issue. Like they need one person who's gonna be the technical winger, who's gonna stay out wide, creating chances, and then the other winger to be running into space when Kane drops. Tottenham have got it to a T. They got Kulusevski, who does the wide man stuff. You got Son running into space, what Kane vacates, and Kane plays the balls. It works. It's just a case of picking the right players to do the job.
They've got the plays, man. They've got Saka.
Yeah,
They've got Rashford, man.
no.
But they play those players that you're talking about in the wrong position. Saka shouldn't be playing in that position. Like we all know, as football fans, when you watch a football game and you see a player out of position, every single time it vexes you. No matter what, you always think, why are they playing in a position that's not their position? As soon as I saw that formation, saw him playing there, I thought that's going to cost us the game. Do you know what I mean? He was dead. He literally.
Saka was poor, man.
Yeah, and it weren't his fault. He was just playing in a position that he shouldn't have been playing in the first place. Me and OTC were saying about taking Shaw and Maguire because obviously they did well previously. He should have started Shaw, so we can die on this hill. Say, yo, he took this player who's not playing.
Shaw played well when he came on that game as well.
Exactly. Like, so I don't understand why he didn't play him.
No, listen, I agree with you. Yeah, he took him, so he should have played him. But the issue I have is that I like players to play who are playing. Like Shaw's performances Shaw's performances without Harry Maguire are considerably better than he is with Maguire, because what tends to happen is Shaw doubles down on covering Maguire because he knows he has no pace, unfortunately. But nonetheless, Shaw's not playing. So why is he playing for England? Like, listen, it causes problems because guess what? He said he's picking players on form. So I use a Matt Target, for instance, at Newcastle. He's in form. He's playing well. Yeah, to be quite honest, he's been playing well for the last year. You got two left backs who are not fit or not playing. You got two games here. You got two games to try him, see how he is, and then if he does perform per se, then he's a contender. And if he doesn't perform, then at least you know. Yeah.
I agree. He said that he's going to pick players based on form. Let's just forget about that because he's clearly not doing that. He's not done that for a long time. So you might as well that's out the window. He's not doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Every manager comes in and says that, and then they do the total opposite.
Yeah.
I think Gareth clarified it the other day, to be fair. He said that
he's picking players he trusts.
Effectively.
But effectively, he's gonna die on that hill, which is fine. Not die on your hill, but he's gonna die a very slow death, like the way he's carrying on, because ultimately Maguire's not gonna get into the Man United team anytime soon unless there's injuries. Because guess what?
Sure.
Because Shaw's got a chance because he could play. Like he can at least get into the cup games.
The problem with a lot of managers, is like if they get success from something they're doing, they're stubborn with it. Like Klopp, how many times has it been mentioned about this high line, and he continues to do it? We should have stopped doing it when Van Dijk got injured. We carried on doing it, and it cost us. Do you know what I mean? The problem with Southgate is he's had this success where people say, "Oh yeah." And he has. He got us to a semi-final and then a final.
Why is it classified? Final. Just a question. Why is that classified as success? Success is winning. He hasn't won anything.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying.
Like I say, Germany from 2002.
Another problem as well, bro.
Every major tournament was semi-finals and finals from 2002 up until like 2016, which is I think the first time they didn't get to a semi-final or a final in a major tournament.
Another problem you have as well is a lot of people say Gareth Southgate has united this team. I've heard that people say, but that's what a lot of people say.
Like it's bare madness. I'm not being funny yet. Watch this. Yeah, I just don't see
country.
Yeah,
I don't. Okay, he might have united some people in the country, but he hasn't united the team. Because I use this as an example. I saw a training ground video of them doing two-touch football, right? So everyone's doing two-touch. Everyone's doing two-touch, right? and then all of a sudden Maguire takes 1,000,001 touches. Henderson's looking at man saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like it's just like that's not uniting. That's just
No,
People
no,
get
no,
pissed
no. We got to call it.
Is it
spade a spade.
United or giving him confidence? There's something that people say he's done to the team.
It's
that-
team morale.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
yeah.
no,
team
he's
morale.
made people happy. Yeah, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that the team is happy. That far from it.
Yeah.
Far from
No,
it.
I would say so. No, do you know what?
No,
On this one, yeah,
the reason
you
why I
gotta
say
give
that.
you gotta give credit where credit's due. He has, bearing in mind beforehand, people or the England players and the England fan and the media, etc., was all disconnected from each other. You have to agree on that point. And I think what Gareth has done is that he's made great strides in uniting all of those factors together. Whether we agree on his tactics or not, whether we agree on whether he's a good coach or not, he has done that. We have to give him credit where credit's due. But at the
Right, so
same
with
time,
that, let's segue that into the Germany game because I'll give him some praise for the Germany game. Not a lot, but I do have something from
For
the
the-
Germany game. So I'll let you break down the Germany game to begin with again, OTC. Because
Germany, yeah,
I want
Germany
you to die
for
on
me-
this hill.
For me, all right, okay. For me,
OTC's going
I
out like
was-
Scarface, bro.
no. For me, I. The thing is, yeah, I said a lot. Yeah, first and foremost, yeah, we'll start with the goalkeeper, yeah, and then we'll go up the pitch all the way to the top as Kane. Yeah, I said from the get go, Pope, not like he's not cutting the mustard for me. Can't play out from the back, not cutting the mustard for me. Yeah, and I think that the way other teams press England, and also you have to think about what teams are going to appear in the World Cup and the type of football that they're going to play.
Can I
Pope
jump in when you're
Ain't,
done?
ain't gonna
So
cut
I
it.
got something for you on Pope here, because obviously I know even in the group chat, UNG was coming at Pope and whatnot. We know he can't play out from the back. He's proved that at club level.
Yeah.
David De Gea can't play out from the back. We saw that. So Man United don't play out from the back as much now. So with him not being able to play out from the back, I think even Arsenal suffered with it to begin with. The likes of Ramsdale, and they couldn't play out the back to begin with. He's got
With
better at
Leno.
doing it now. But why would you put a man in a position knowing that's his weak point? And then even in that game, Harry Maguire put him under pressure a couple times with that, and I think Eric Dyer even, and he put him under pressure in that game.
I think it was
with
Stones.
such
It was
a-
Stones.
Was it Jones?
Yeah.
Stones
It was
with
Stones.
some wild back pass so close in the box. So for me, whilst again I do agree he hasn't necessarily come across in that game as for what me and Dan have said he is, and he did show a lot of flaws to a degree in that game. But if you know a man can't do something, why would you continuously put him in a position to do something you know he's not strong at? Because that is my
Southgate's a
point.
crackhead.
Like
Southgate is a
England
well,
don't
crackhead.
look good. England don't look good playing out from the back all the
Well,
time.
this is the problem. No, but mate, all the time is that England don't.
I don't
England
watch England
shouldn't.
enough in that thing to say
England
they
shouldn't.
don't.
England shouldn't play out from the back because one, here, Maguire's not good at playing from the back. This is just a fact. He takes too many touches. So at that point, yeah, it's all flawed. Then on
I'm
top
trying
of
to
it,
think.
then on
You
top
know
of
what
it, Southgate is playing Pope. So Pope's a good shot stopper. He's probably the best out of all the England goalkeepers right now at shot stopping, but he cannot play out from the back. So I agree with Muno. Don't put someone in a position where you want to play out from the back and you put them in a position to fill.
Do you know what England playing out-
I agree.
England
And
playing
this is
out
why
the
I
back.
don't like Southgate.
Palace under Roy Hodgson. When we tried to play out the back under Roy Hodgson, it looked desperate, it looked stupid, it looked clumsy, and it used to infuriate me. But since we've had Patrick Vieira, there was a lot of times when sometimes it didn't look as good. But as the season progressed, and even going into this season, we play out from the back a lot better. And I think it's because he's put players, and there's a lot more confidence with the players that we have being able to do it. Whereas under Roy Hodgson, and even like I say, watching England, it just looks clumsy at times. And it's just like, why do it? It don't look comfortable. You're just putting a man under unnecessary pressure. And it's very easy to get caught out if the team's not on the same page. And a lot of time looking at it, like I say, just looking at because I watched the whole of that game, it was just like it just don't look natural to him. Like just kick it long, or if
can't
you're
kick
gonna
it
play
long.
out from the
Okay.
back,
OTC, I've got a question for you before you move on
Go
to your
on.
next player. Yeah, how many of English defenders are actually good at playing at the back?
Well,
Besides
let's go
John
for it.
Stones, besides Stones.
So from the right to left, Trent can play out from the back, Reece James can play out from the back, Trippier can play out from the back, Walker
No,
can play out from the
sorry.
back.
Let me correct myself.
Over to the right, over to the
Sorry.
centre.
Let me correct myself. Just the centre backs. Forget the right
Okay.
backs and left backs. Just the centre backs.
Just the centre backs. Okay, cool.
Not including Stones.
Bruv, you're asking for centre backs, you're cutting some centre backs, bruv. What the hell? Okay.
No, because Stones is
No, 'cause we know
Stones can. Because Stones can.
Okay.
You know that.
Stones can. Who else can? Maguire, I don't think he can, but if you give him
Maguire
simple
can't.
instructions to an
He
extent,
can't. He can't.
you
can't.
got
I don't think he can.
He takes too many touches. I see it every week.
yeah, but you
I
got
think
you got
Mate, he takes
instructions.
100. He takes 100 touches, and then he gets rid of the ball. Like
that.
that's
OTC,
that's
don't
not
I
OTC,
ain't a
don't die
professional
on that hill,
footballer
fam.
yet. No, but if you
Don't die
ask
on
me,
that hill, fam.
2
But this
touches,
is-
1
right,
touch,
Even
yeah.
Oz
even
back
the-
that hill.
Right,
Oz
OTC,
jumped off the tree.
right, so watch this. OTC,
Even that training video, blood, he didn't even back the 2-touch thing in training, blood.
so watch
in
this. Yeah.
training, bro.
Alright, so OTC, this is my point, yeah. You're struggling to name England centre backs who can play out the back. So why is this England manager playing out from the back? It makes zero sense. If you got no centre backs to do it, why do it?
They got centre backs. Tomori can. Stones
Yeah, but he
can.
doesn't play. Tomori doesn't play.
And if you're playing 3 at the back, you can, man. I promise you can.
Tomori doesn't
You know, it's
play.
Gay you can play out from the back.
But he doesn't play either.
Gay,
No,
Stones.
Don't play- I'm
Bruv.
just looking at the sub bench and the team that they had against Germany. I'm just like Eric Dyer. I didn't see much confidence in doing it. Obviously, Kyle Walker don't play centre back, and I'm just looking at it now.
And this
Kyle
is what
Walker,
I'm
man.
saying.
Kyle
not seen
Walker,
enough
Stones,
Cody.
Tomori.
Yeah, but Tomori
I'm
doesn't
not
play
Gay.
like that.
to play like
And
That's
this
that.
my issue.
Right, and this is my point. You know players who's out there clearly not going to play. So why is he playing out from the back? It makes
That's
no
my
sense.
overall problem with
One
Southgate.
second, you know, I
Southgate
just realised
would have a
Tammy
system and a
Abraham
tactic.
didn't even get on against Germany neither. Why bring these men?
Yeah. He got dropped in. Yeah. This guy's a clown. Like without a shadow of doubt. Like I said, England's playing a system that don't work because he doesn't have the players. It's like Man United last season when we were trying to play out from the back here.
Nah, they
we,
got
and we
the
knew,
players.
and we knew that our captain couldn't play out from the back because we continued to play out from the back. It makes no sense.
This is not Man United. They got a whole country of people, of footballers to
Yeah,
choose
but
from.
yeah, but
You're
my
telling
point
me
is-
they can't
yeah, but-
pick a back 4 or back 5 that can't play out for the back?
But then
Is this
he's
what
not
we're on?
going to. He's not going to.
Bro, Ben
He's-
White.
he's not
Oh
going
my
to.
goodness,
He's
I
not
forgot.
going-
Ben White.
He's not going to though. He's not
Bruv,
going
I've
to.
already said if things go the way they are, I expect Ben White personally to be in that team over Maguire. And if he doesn't get in that team over Maguire for the World Cup,
I don't think he will. I'll tell you why.
then Maguire's
I'll
got some on
No,
Southgate.
listen, Maguire's going. Maguire's going. That's
He's
without
gonna go.
question. He's gonna go. Ben White's not going to go, and I don't think he should go just because at this moment in time he's not playing as a centre back. He's playing at right back.
But you're
At this
asking
moment in
people
time.
to play one system. Like if you're asking me who in the midfield can, like if you want to play defensive tactic, you want to play offensive tactic, you wanted to keep the ball like if you want to play a high line, I will give you these players, bro. But Gareth Southgate has tried to do one tactic, right? Defend, right, and counter attack or defend and try to nick a goal. You can't do that with Sterling and Foden on each of the wing. That's not the players you choose from, or you have.
Me personally, I don't have an issue with Foden just because I know Foden can keep the ball. Like it's like if you're playing counter-attacking football, you need one person out wide who can play football, and you need another person who's going to break the lens.
That's not counter-attacking players, man.
Unfortunately for Sterling, whatever he's been told by Southgate is clearly not working, but he would be expected to be the one to break the lines because he's the one with the pace, and he doesn't do that.
Nah, bro, I've got to call you on that because Dan, you always say you call a spade a spade, yeah. How many shots on target did Sterling get the other day from breaking the lines or like a ball being played when he's on the run?
One.
He got three shots on target from that. Yeah, 3.
I can think of what the one that comes to head. It was
I
one
couldn't
where he
think of one.
missed. The one where he
I
was
couldn't think of
through.
one. I couldn't think of one on
and-
target.
Yeah, the only one I can think of is the one where he got through and Stegen saved it. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
I can't
That's
think
not,
of any
Sterling.
others.
Sterling is not the best player to choose from in the entire UK.
Nah, Sterling
for
does
running
bits,
down
man.
the
Nah,
ring.
give Sterling
but-
his
no,
credit,
but
fam.
you're-
He's
Nah,
not,
give
man.
Sterling his credit,
No,
fam.
No,
but
Sterling is a good player, but for that tactic.
But OTC, the point is, yeah, I'm talking about the players he played, yeah. That's the person you're expecting. That guy, all of them he played. You're not expecting Foden to break the legs, are you? Like, it's not going to happen, is it? So you're expecting Sterling to do it. And if he is not doing it, this is the problem. This is my point. The way the England team set up, and because you got Harry Kane in the team, you need someone to break the lines. So unfortunately, you're going to look at the person who's got pace. Unfortunately, that's Sterling. So
Sterling was the only
Yeah.
one I'd say would have been a threat for me personally. Foden, he has the quick burst, and then it's like it's gone, and he's just running.
yeah, like
But
Foden's
first
not
10,
breaking
10
lines. like,
yards, he's good, and then it just like a normal run.
Yeah.
So
this is what-
let's talk about Foden, man. Foden, bruv, Foden for the last 2 games, and this is what I'm saying to you guys. There's league players and then there's cup players, and these cup players have got to be, bruv. You got to be on job. You're like, come off the hour, come off the man. You've got to be ready to go, fam. And for me, Foden is
Yeah.
one of them guys that over a 38 game would overall play well, right? He'll play well for 38 games. He may have very good moments here and there, but for a short period of time, and you're asking him to jump up and say, you know what, I have this moment, be a 10
Yeah,
out of
but
10 for this game specifically, Champions
would
League
you?
final. Here you go. No, I would not choose Foden.
I'm not very funny, yeah. I'm not very funny, yeah, but I think Foden's performances are down to Gareth Southgate's crappy tactics.
I think
'Cause I'm
it's
not
the
being-
way he plays, where
I'm not
he
being funny.
plays for.
Yeah, because I'm not very funny, yeah. If that was Pep, right, and he plays the Pep way, yeah, it's gonna work. Southgate's playing a 5 at the back here and expecting just the 3 attacking players to perform miracles. Like, that's not how he plays club football. Like to perform miracles single-handedly by himself. Like he's passing.
That's
me
what
and
you
all the
need,
rest of it.
but that's what you need for like not only World Cup but any cup competition. You
Mate.
need to perform miracles. Like look at when
Let's
Mason
be honest,
Mount
if
came
that's
on.
the case, then that was Bellingham, because Bellingham was tremendous the other day.
He was good in. He was good in both
against
games,
Germany.
in my opinion.
Against Germany, he was good.
No, he was good in
It's
both
a-
games. He was both in good
Like I
games.
said, I
man.
didn't
Don't
see
go
enough
there.
of the Italy game to make a
Don't
judgment
go
on
there.
that
He
one. But
was
in
good
the
on. He
Germany,
was good.
game,
He was good. He was good
I
in
would
both games.
say he was man of the match.
He was good. He was man in the match, and he got very man in the match. It was very well deserved. Like I think when it comes to
Nobody was
Bellingham,
on the man of the match, man. Might as well
Mate.
be the fans,
Mate.
man.
Mate.
Bro.
Bellingham
Foden-
played well.
Bellingham and Rice, both of them, even though I think Bellingham had a good last 15 minutes, for the first hour.
Bellingham
of the
was
game?
Bellingham was making passes, and then he's putting quite a few passes in. Like
Yeah, I don't
But
think.
and
I
his
don't think. He,
positioning
I'm
was
not,
all over the place. His timing was
Play.
off.
I thought he was good.
mate.
Nah, OTC's got beef with Bellingham just the same as Dan's
no,
got beef with Sterling for no reason, Blade.
Mate, I don't have beef with Sterling. I like Sterling,
it's
but
Bellingham.
the issue is, yeah, it's the system that Gareth Southgate plays. That's why I'm highlighting Sterling, because obviously he's the one with pace. That's all I'm saying. Like, I have no beef with Sterling. Like, I like
Yeah.
Sterling. I'm just saying the obvious that he's the one with pace. Then he must be the one who must be breaking the lines, because it ain't Foden and it ain't Kane. For obvious reasons.
Like I say, that game we got to see 2 special players, Musiala and Bellingham,
Top level.
and they proved why they're as highly
future.
rated as they are.
They are the future.
I'm Mason Mount. Come on, bro. How you lot skip it, bro?
You know
Come
it's-
on, bro.
no, you know
Put
it is.
some respect on my boy. Come on, man.
One second.
Did you see what he
I'll
done?
get it. Yeah, from Bellingham's pass to Saka, who then put him through. Just saying, Bellingham was involved.
Saka never
Bellingham
put
was
through. It
also,
was Reece James.
The reach,
I think
yeah,
it's
but it
reshaped.
come from Bellingham. I think Saka did the first
Saka, it
goal.
was Saka. There was not Saka, no?
Saka definitely did one from a Bellingham pass. No, I'm pretty sure Saka set up the Mason Mount.
No,
goal.
that was
Let me
Luke
check.
Shaw. That was Luke Shaw. Or who
Luke-
gave it to Luke Shaw? I think James gave it to Luke Shaw. Saka gave it to Mount. One of them two. I might be getting
Yeah, Saka
mistaken.
was Mount, Reece James was Shaw. I was thinking because Bellingham passed it out to Saka and Saka put a nice ball in the middle.
Yeah.
But I was like, then when them two come on, they changed the game attacking wise. But like I say, Bellingham was involved in both. Bellingham was involved in all 3 goals.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it's
Bellingham
not been
against Germany, he played
So what I
a
will
lot
say
better.
that pissed me off about VAR. Like I say, we got a penalty from it. The time it took for these decisions to actually be made, it took far too long. Like,
What country did the game happen in?
yeah, I know it happened in England, and
There
the
you
worst
go.
thing is
That's your answer.
VAR refs. But
Bro, Dad, why
me-
you got to say like that?
Because it's
it reminded
true.
me of the very first tournament with VAR. I think it was Real Madrid in a
Bruh.
World Club Cup. It took like 4 minutes later for them to be given a penalty. So much play had happened, and then they went back, and I was just like, because even watching the game, I was like, right, that's a penalty on both of them. And then when the game's just played on, I was like, well, this is kind of too far to go back now to give a penalty.
No,
Then
because
say you score a goal, like the team who was getting the penalty scored a goal. Do you then take that goal out and give the penalty?
yeah, you do,
'Cause
you do, because you have to wait for the ball to go out play, don't you? That's the issue.
Agree, because I know sometimes if it's blatant, they'll just kind of like think if there's like a break in play.
Yeah, because serious is a break and play, then obviously they check it. The issue is it's not how far it goes before the check happens, because obviously you have to wait for the ball to go out play. It's how long it takes for the check to happen. Mate.
But what I will say is the ref was quick in seeing the things, and you just kind of hope that happens in England. Like he went over there, saw the replays, made the decision quick. Like, and I think that's what I'm missing.
That won't happen because
It won't happen.
the referees in this country, they literally look at every single.
Do you know what I want them to start doing with VAR in this country though? Show the things in real time and give him every angle in real time, because when he makes the decision on the pitch, it's in real time. Because when you watch it and the way they slow it down and give you the worst possible look, it's just like, yeah, you're kind of pushing an agenda here. You want him to change the decision.
No, that's what they're doing. Like, they don't want him to see what he saw the first time. They want to see whatever he saw.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's why you need him. That's why I think you need the real time. Some of these things, when you look at the real time, you wouldn't overchange some of them.
You wouldn't. But the issue you have is, I don't know, it's difficult because obviously when you're watching on TV, you see all the replays and everything, right?
Oz, what the hell are you watching?
I don't know what just happened to the team. It was Stormzy still. It's Stormzy. I don't know why. He just
watching TV.
It looked like you got loud.
Damn, man, you're getting them thumbs out again, man. I don't know when.
Mate, you know what, yeah? I just think, like, the whole VAR thing, I just think, like, it takes too long, isn't it? Like, over here in this lovely country of ours, it's just not working. It's not working at all. And it'll continue not to work because, obviously, it's down to the individuals. So unfortunately, these guys just overthink things. You know, that some of these decisions they take.
The only thing I will give it credit for is sometimes the offside thing. Because, bro, do you remember the days when we used to watch like a game and someone was like well offside and the goal counted? Like, I'll give it credit for that because I remember there was one day.
You ever know? Because unfortunately,
I don't like the offside ball thing at the moment though. When it's like play to the thing, because sometimes you can.
Yeah, no, I don't like that either. Yeah,
and
no,
it's just
I don't like that either. But
you can clearly see it. Because there's going to be a time when someone gets a serious injury. Because even like I say, it happened with, is it Godfrey? Is it Godfrey for Everton?
Yep.
It definitely he got a bad injury. The ball went out for a goal kick. But because they didn't give the goal kick straight away and let play go on, I think he ended up taking a tackle, and then I look at it, he's out for probably most of the season. Like, I think this all play till the thing.
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because on that one, they need. But it's a difficult one because it was him who played the ball back in the first place, and like it was just a cluster of things there. But obviously, yeah, if they blew the whistle and did what they were supposed to do,
stop something.
Yeah, he played the ball back. it was just madness. I think he played the ball back as well. It's some kind of confusion between him and Pickford, and then he ended up getting tackled and injured. It was just all just a massive cluster. But it's one of
Yeah.
those where it should never happen because the referee should have blew the whistle. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but back on the game.
Yeah,
The thing is, what fills me with a little bit more confidence was the actual spell where England came back and scored more than one goal. That's what gave me a little bit more confidence because I know we conceded 3. I understand we conceded 3. Maguire, 2 bad mistakes. You know what? The first one was a bad mistake where Musiala, skipped past him. But the second one,
Musiala skipped past him again.
yeah, but he was bearing in mind there was a lot of football to be played.
He shouldn't have been running up there with the ball. He should have passed the ball. This is where we're saying that playing out from the back, he takes too many touches.
it takes too many touches, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's on Southgate because if you think about it, yeah, if you don't have an attacking system, right,
Here's my thing.
you've got people like Maguire that are running up.
If in doubt, kick it out. Like that's what I was brought up. If in doubt, just kick it out. Kick it long. Like sometimes
that's what he should have done.
If you feel pressure, just kick it long. It gives you time to reset.
Maguire loves the show. Let's be real. He likes the show. Yeah, he wants to prove to everyone that he can play out from the back, and he can't. Like the fact he's playing on the left-hand side and he never passes the ball with his left foot tells the story. But you got John Stones, for argument's sake, playing on the right-hand side. You could use both feet. Let's make it make sense. It makes no sense. Yeah.
For me, and what made that game even worse was it was a nothing game for England. Even for Germany, it was a nothing game, and it just felt like a poor friendly throughout most of it. There wasn't no real intensity from you. Both teams had moments where they had intensity, but for the most part, it just felt like a flat nothing game. And for me, that was a game where England, especially, should have been putting players like Tony and stuff in to give them that chance to show what they can do on that level, because now there's no other games before the World Cup. It's not like previous years where you have a few warm-up games. You're literally going straight into your first game. And for me, there was, like I say, you will take positives that they scored the 3 goals, but at the same time they conceded 3 goals. You didn't really learn nothing. I think what it did was paper over cracks that we already knew was there. I don't think Southgate can honestly comfortably come out of that game and say, "Oh yeah, but we saw this from this person," because he didn't.
There's a lot of lessons. There's a lot of lessons.
Yeah, lessons. Yes, but the only positive out of everything, the only positive is Bellingham. That's the only positive.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing it.
Bellingham was a highlight.
Positive.
Wait, so what's the other positive saying?
One second. The only other thing I'll say was a positive. It was the mentality when they was 2-0 down. I'll give them that to then take some control. But then that's typical England. What I've said, like I said, even said in the group chat, they look poor throughout most of the game. They'll give you 20 minutes or something in a game where they look unplayable. They look like a number 1 team. And then it just goes flat again. And I think it takes a lot for them to get to that level and it always comes like in the middle of a game. I don't think they can sustain that kind of level from the start to fix.
I think they can. But you're gonna have to put certain players in the team.
Yeah, you have to pick the right players. That there's all ifs, buts, and maybes. That we're looking at the games they played, they never have control, and that's because Southgate doesn't play players in the right position. He doesn't play the right team. Like he plays boring football. Like every Cabayas is boring. Like it's just
it's a couple of reasons.
I potentially seeing, like I say, I think the England World Cup squad is probably going to throw up a few surprises. Because I think a few of these English players that probably would be certified picks may get injured just before the thing. Because like I say, this is a lot of games now that players are going to have to play. Like especially from the top 6 clubs, the ones that are in European football, they're going to be playing up to 13 games maximum in this from this period up until the World Cup, and that's a lot of games to put these players through. Like Harry
Yeah.
Kane could end up injured and not even go into the World Cup.
Well, he tends to get injured at that time, doesn't he?
That's
So
what I'm saying. It's a weird period that he's coming into this, and I think there's good. I wouldn't be surprised throughout the whole tournament for a few of the big teams are missing key players.
it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me that it's gonna happen. It's just a case
Messi
of
getting injured before the thing and not going to the World Cup with Argentina. Or
that's his
Neymar.
last
No, I
one.
doubt it. No, Messi.
Mbappe,
I doubt it.
Why'd you doubt it?
For Messi, mate,
but
this
okay,
season's gonna be
okay.
walking on the pitch. He ain't
Okay,
playing football. He's gonna be strolling. Like he's not gonna break a sweat.
OTC, I'll put you like this, yeah. Right? Have you ever watched the French league with Messi playing?
Yeah, I watched a couple of PSG games. Not
Right.
great ones, but a couple of PSG games. Yeah.
Okay, when I get the chance, I watch quite a bit of the games or watch it on
You
replay.
are they're only 2 points clear at the top of the table. They're not going to be. These men are still going to have to play.
Like they're gonna play, and some of these players who play in the French league, yeah, they take their prisoners, mate. Like they're big, strong, like African guys who love to tackle, yeah, and he's gonna be a victim. Yeah.
Mate.
Same thing goes for Neymar. He's gonna be a victim. Neymar always gets injured during the Christmas period. So if he gets injured, what's the chances of Brazil winning the World Cup then? Just out of curiosity.
Who else they got? I think they got. Who else
Mate,
they got in
the
that?
mate-
I'm being honest.
the
The
mate-
only
mate-
league with an ease of games is the German league, and that's because they don't play as much fixtures as the other European league. They're 4 games less. So I
Yeah.
think they're already a couple games down by the time this comes round. So they're not going to play as much games. So Bellingham would probably be the only England player I would probably have less fears over. But like I say, the rest of them in the other European leagues, I'd worry about because this is a lot of games now you're going to be putting these players through. And you got some
Yeah.
teams like Liverpool don't like to really rotate their squad. Klopp will go with the same 11 every game if he could.
Well, to be fair, I don't think any England players in the Liverpool squad are actually gonna get into the team, are they? To be fair, so
I think there's only Henderson, isn't there? It'll
I don't
take
think
Henderson as a leader.
No, it'll take Henderson, but he won't get into the team though. So I don't think it's a worry per se.
No.
Yeah, Trent won't get into it.
He
Well,
won't-
unless
yeah.
Trent can if because Reece James gets injured in that period of time as well.
He won't get into the team.
If I was
Trippier
Trent,
gets injured.
if I was Trent, I wouldn't even want to go, bruv.
Like, I'm just being.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I'm just-
even want to
I'm
go.
just being. I'm just being. I'm
Bunny.
just being.
Can't sound
real.
like
I'm just being real.
Nah.
Like, talking about Trent, yeah. I have all the right backs, yeah, who he loves, yeah, because he's got 4, yeah. Trent would be the weakest defensively, and that's what does it for him, in my opinion, because he
Yeah.
can't defend. Yeah, he's the worst one out of the bunch in that sense. So he's not. He like, if he picks him, then it's only on the basis of like he knows that it's a game where he doesn't have to defend. If that makes sense. Like England's first game.
I would
for
tell him,
instance,
allow you, fam. Let me stay at home, fam.
No, I hear. No, listen, I hear what you're saying. But the first game, England's first game is what? Iran? Is it Iran? Their first game in the World Cup? Yeah. Mate, that's a perfect Trent
Yes,
game.
Iran.
That's a perfect Trent game. All Trent has to do is spam crosses. Yeah, and that's it. But
Yeah,
then-
but I don't. You can't spam. Who are you gonna spam crosses to when Kane's flipping, dropping deep?
mate,
the point?
TC's had enough of Kane, you know.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, if you go like, bro,
Yeah,
if you're
but-
starting Rashford, Kane, and Saka, and then you're spamming crosses that way, and Rashford's getting at the end of it from the left hand side, I get it. But if you're spamming crosses, yeah, and you're starting Grealish on one wing and Foden on the other wing, bro, what is the point? What is the point of this?
but the thing is that in that game, if you know you're gonna play Trent, yeah, these are spam crosses, then you will play the appropriate players in theory to get into the box.
I
And
think it's an interesting one how they actually line up because I get where OTC is coming from with the Kane thing, but you can't afford to drop him
Why not?
because
Well,
who?
he's your only proven England goal scorer, mate.
Yeah,
Like, who
I
else-
just think
who
it's
else
hard,
is
and he's
proven?
not going to drop him. He's 2 goals off Rooney's record. They're definitely not dropping him, man. He's
Bruv,
pipped to just.
Kane didn't get dropped in the Euros. He didn't score. What was it? Was it the first 3 games?
Yeah, he didn't score in the first 3 games. I think he didn't
Yeah.
score till like was it the quarter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
South-
he
South-
didn't
South-
get dropped,
he's
so
gotta get
that
Sherry.
tells you everything that you
but
needed to
who's-
know.
Yeah, but who's replacing him? This is the point. Like Southgate
Yeah, I don't
is not.
think he replaced him.
Southgate,
Like I say,
Southgate doesn't. He doesn't have
the
that.
game the other day was the only
Yeah.
game you'd have had to try like Tony or Abraham up front with the
And you
kind of
didn't.
system. he
Bruv, you
plays.
don't even have to try like Tony Abraham. You're talking about all-out strikers. Pep
No,
did
but what
what
I'm
he
saying
did
is-
last
no,
season
what I'm
without
saying
a
is-
striker. You've
No,
got
what I'm
enough.
saying is he hasn't tried these players in his system
Yeah,
because his system is not a normal system. These players get in that system and then at times look lost. I was even saying that to Dan. I was like, it's like they just got 11 players, thrown them in his system, and none of them seem to look comfortable in anything that they do.
I just want to throw it out there. Like, obviously, how many England players play in a five in the back system? Like, other than Reece James, who else? And Ben Chilwell. Ivan Toney. Brentford played five in the back, do you know?
Mason
Yeah.
Mount, apart from
Yeah.
the Chelsea players, Chelsea players,
Ivan Toney plays five.
and the Tottenham players,
Yeah, and the Tottenham
ironically.
players. Yeah.
But who's that?
Yeah,
That's
Ivan-
only every player in the
Yeah.
thing, and then obviously Kane.
And Kane.
Yeah, so you got Ivan Toney, yeah, who plays in a system which is five in the back, yeah, and man's not playing him. What would that just make it make sense? It makes no sense.
Because Man United don't even really play a
No, we don't. We don't.
back, so
We don't.
That kind. So, but then Maguire is not in the starting lineup for the important games anymore. So
When was the last
Like
time
I
you
said,
played for United from the start?
last
So
time
it's
played for Man
literally
United-
Chelsea.
no, Sheriff.
who else?
Sheriff game.
Wait, who else?
'Cause I went
Yeah,
through
it's
after seeing that Bonglahor tweet and had to factor in every time United have lost that Don started.
Yeah, he came off. Did he not come off the bench in that game? He didn't
Yeah,
start.
but
But he start every game they've lost. He started,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he started
Yeah.
Sheriff. He's the Europa
Nah.
League
Did he start? I don't remember him starting. Did he
Yeah,
start?
no, he started. He started. I checked the other day because even I was like, did he start or did he come off the bench? But I'm 100% sure he started. I'm just gonna go double check now, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty.
go and double check. I'm sure he did it. I think we played our best. I think we played our
against
best.
Sheriff.
team.
No,
Yeah,
he
but-
played against Real Sociedad, but I don't know about Sheriff.
Yeah, he didn't play against Sheriff. He played against Sociedad. We fucking lost again.
Check now. Matches,
Do you know what? Yeah,
result.
with Maguire, I don't
OTC,
know. Man.
Oh no,
don't-
you're right. He come off the bench.
Yeah, he came
I
off the
don't know,
bench.
man.
Oh, see, look, okay, that proves my point that he's only ever
Yeah.
played when you lot have lost.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
listen,
mad.
OTC. When it comes to Maguire, yeah, like there's no down the hill. Like personally,
Yeah, but like I say, every formation it's shown, he's shown that forward at the back this season. So yeah, I'd like to see Gareth try for like a 4-3-3 or like a 4.
I don't know. For me, 4-2-4, like play two strikers, two
4-2-4
wingers.
seems better for them, but then it would have to be Bellingham and someone else. I don't think Bellingham and Rice necessarily complement each other.
The
I
reason
agree. I
my
agree.
Okay,
They're
it
not a
can,
great partnership.
it can if Southgate tells them exactly what to do, but we know he won't. He needs to tell Rice, just like David Moyes told Rice a couple of seasons ago, you don't move. Yeah, you sit there, screen the back four. At that point, Bellingham can do whatever Bellingham needs to do. Yeah, this is the problem because Rice, in his head, yeah, he's a box-to-box midfielder. Yeah, he wants the bomb on and all the rest of it. So at that point, that means Bellingham has to sit. Not to say he can't do it, but that's not his best feature. His best feature is attacking. Yeah, there's all action. Let the man do the all action and tell Rice to sit there. But Rice, now this is the problem. I don't think Gareth Southgate is telling him to do that. Because if you think about it, under normal circumstances, he's going to play Phillips, right? And they just alternate. That's what they do. Bellingham doesn't really.
Sorry,
Bellingham
one
doesn't-
second. Muller, G Chain saying bring him in.
You know.
Salute, my brothers.
Pick up.
But yeah, like obviously Bellingham doesn't want to do that. Rice doesn't want to do that. Southgate's not coaching. That's what he should be. He should be telling people, you sit, you do whatever. This is the problem. I think it can
They
work.
need a third midfielder, man. They need a third midfielder.
Mate, with Rice's capabilities, yeah, right. England are more incapable, yeah, of just playing the two in midfield. The issue you have is Southgate's not telling them what to do, mate. He's not giving them clear instructions. You know, like you should be able to play with two. I'm not being funny, yeah. Some of the best midfield combinations, yeah, back in the day, yeah, consisted of just two midfielders doing the business, like a Patrick Vieira and Emmanuel Petit or Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. Like one knew exactly what they had to do, and the other one knew exactly what they had to do. Why can't Southgate yet just dictate the pace and tell Rice, sit, do your job, screen the back four, and let Bellingham do the work? Like, you know how talented Bellingham is.
I agree.
Like,
They're
it's
both talented, but you can't play the ball.
I mean, of course you can.
No, you can play the both, but you can't play the
Yes, you
both
can.
alone. No,
Of
you
course you
can't.
can.
Bro, if they
Of course
get
you can.
Spain, they're gonna get bopped. I promise you right now, they're gonna get bopped. Bro, it's gonna be field day for some teams. Yeah, with 3 midfielders in, experienced midfielders, bro. They're gonna cut
No.
through them like a knife through butter, man.
No,
I'm telling you.
if England play to their strengths, yeah, England can do bits, but they don't play to their strengths. They're too scared all the time. They all this like so. Okay, you're gonna play three in midfield. Who's your three? Go on.
For me personally, I'll play Phillips, Rice, and Bellingham.
This is
in the
my point.
midfield.
Like, why
Phillips
are you
is injured. I don't see him going though.
Okay, then I'll literally start. Then Mason Mount, Bellingham, and Rice, and I ask Rice to sit. They can't play in free midfield like that, or maybe what's his name? James Ward-Prowse or something. I don't know.
Okay, just accuracy. Yeah? Why did you say Rice, Phillips, and Bellingham at first?
Rice, Phillips. You know why? Because Phillips can sit holding and just screen the back four, and I think he's better at that than Rice personally. At doing that alone, I think he's overall player. Rice is better, but just that position, I think he's a better number 6. And then that means that Rice can do a little bit of both. He can do a little bit forward. He can be like a box-to-box midfielder. Bellingham can be the creative one. He can link up with Kane a lot better. And that's why I think for me, those three together is the perfect balance. It's a perfect balance. If you have the right wingers, of course. For me, in general, Sterling and Saka. Yeah, you can.
I don't know. If you're gonna play a three, you either have to play Rice or Phillips. You can't play both of them. It's just you're back to next to football. Like, you're gonna have to pair them. You're not knowing what they're doing. Who's staying? Who's not staying? People need to if you're gonna play three, you need a defensive midfielder who knows exactly. Okay, I am playing defensive midfielder. That is my job. That is it.
So maybe Henderson. Henderson. Henderson can sit there and just play the Jorginho role. Pass it out simple. Why not? Well, and also Henderson's got experience as well. Henderson's not no young buck. And when you got these two in the midfield, they haven't got a lot of experience at the top level. Well, they're gonna get spun by a lot of these midfielders. I'm telling you that for free. If they don't get a third one, they're gonna get spun. For me.
So one sec, can anyone hear that name?
I can, but I was just letting you two kind of like finish your thing. Let me just do everyone individually.
I think
it's coming on G. Something near you's making noise.
Mate, it's the fax machine. What's going on?
Bro, it's you know what it is? It's the fryer because I'm about to call out Dan, bro. He's been talking about Sterling, blood. He's been talking about Saka, and we're gonna talk about it now, bro. We're gonna talk about it right now, rude boy.
They'll go for it then.
There you go.
Well,
to the clip.
I'm just saying, yeah, people need to understand in this England team, the best player for the last 2 years has been Raheem Blood Clot Sterling, fam. He has been the one who scored the most goals, who looked the most threatening. Yeah, he missed his chances, fam. He's a winger, innit, blood? He's not a striker. But don't come on there, bruv, and try and tell me that Rashford or Sancho should be playing ahead of Sterling when he's been our best player, blood. Come on, man. Let's. You can't be coming on there, bruv, and saying that kind of stuff, man. I like Rashford and I like Sancho, and for me, I would definitely take both of them to Qatar. But Sterling is 30, bruv. He's been our best player, man. Like, you can't be coming on and saying because Rashford's had 2 good games, yeah, let's play him instead of Sterling, bruv. Like, no, I ain't having that. And then the Saka, you're talking about Saka's played, I think, 11 or 12 games for England, 11 or 12 starts for England. In that Euros, he wasn't picked at the start. He come on and he done his thing, bruv. He gave us a threat on that right hand side. He was willing to take on players. You know, he's 19, bruv, when he went, last year in the Euros. You know, he scored 4 goals for England in whatever it is, 11, 12 games. He's won various man and matches. So, like, yeah, okay, Sancho's had 2 or 3 good games this season. But Sterling, Kane, and Saka are our best, for me anyway, are our best front three. And I would play either Grealish or Foden in the sausage roll, bruv, in the whole fam.
Oh, bruv.
Making that thing, bruv. You know what I mean?
Bruv, you saw what Mount done, bruv. Are you lot just trying to put your blinkers on? You saw what Mason came on.
OTC. I get you. Like the subs were good, but again, like I said, that move involved Bellingham, Saka, and then, like I say, it was a great bit of movement. But you obviously need to recognize
What
Bellingham
did
and
Foden
Saka.
do? What did Foden do? Let's ask that question. What did Foden do?
That's why, like Foden, I can understand why Southgate is starting Foden over Saka, because Foden for me is a baller, bruv. That boy's got tech and he's a baller. But for England on that right wing, sorry, Miles, what's that?
No, I say for City, he has looked good this season, but again, it shouldn't automatically put him in, because like I say, I still probably would have started Saka or someone else over him to play out wide like that.
Yeah, I think Saka, when he came on, he gave us something completely different. It's like,
it depends on
like I say, I think that Germany game, you should have been trialing different things. Personally, you should have.
I agree with that. What I don't agree with though is that we should be dropping Sterling and Saka for Rashford and Sancho like that. That's why I've come on, bro, because people just want to talk say their thing. But for me, what justification is that? Like, who's delivered for England over the last 12 months? You know, and you want to someone has a good couple of games, and you want to suddenly put Rashford and Sancho in there? No. Take them. Don't get me wrong. Take them. They're part of the squad. But you can't be saying like Sterling, who's been our best player, scored the highest. He was our top goal scorer in the Euros, our best player, clearly our best player in the Euros.
I'm gonna put you like this, yeah. Kane and Sterling, are clearly not working. Yeah, clearly it's not working.
Well, he missed 2 1-on-1s, Dan Sterling. Like Kane put him in 2 times in that first half, bruv. You know what I mean?
It's not working though. It's not working.
What, according to who? According to you, or what?
Look at the run of games.
I agree with that. I don't think it's
not working. It's not working.
But I don't think that's Sterling's fault. I don't think that's Sterling's fault. I think that's Harry Kane's fault.
I'm not saying.
I think it's a hard one because, like I said, you can't really drop Kane, but the only thing you could do is drop the players either side of him, which is what they would do.
You're going to drop our best player. You're going to drop Sterling, who's been our best player, bruv. He's been our best player, England's best player, bruv.
So we drop Kane.
I agree with G still. Why are you putting Kane
Oz, you know,
up
bruv, because you watch the games, innit, bruv? You watch the games. So why are you going to drop our best player?
So you're going to drop Kane?
Why?
No, but that's what I was saying. In a way, I was with OTC about dropping Kane, but at the same time, I can't see them dropping Kane, especially considering he's captain.
They won't drop Kane, they won't.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
But what does Kane do though?
Is the 2 either side of him. That's what OTC was saying, and that's what I was saying. It's like now he has that thing where he drops bit deep for Tottenham. It's kind of transpired into England's form. I think it hinders him and it hinders England with him dropping there. So then I feel a lot of the time, because he does that, it does look worse on who's playing on the wing either side of him going forward. So like it could look worse on Sterling, it look bad on Foden. I think him dropping highlights them, not necessarily because they're doing bad, but if they don't excel and perform like a 10 or 9 out of 10s in that position, it looks worse. But I feel that's because Kane's dropping back and it makes them look like they're further forward and not doing nothing. So that's why
the reason why Kane has to drop deep is because Southgate, bro, he plays this negative football, bro. There's no one in the hole. He plays 2 midfielders, 5 at the back.
Okay,
That's why. That's why he has to drop deep. But the
G,
question
can
is
you-
the reason
can
why
you
I came
check
on.
that?
So let's go round. Let's go round the thing. Yeah. Would you play Sterling and Saka, or would you play Rashford and Sancho? Let's go. Miles, Oz, and obviously we know what Dan says on OTC. So you tell me, would you play Sterling and Saka, or would you play Rashford and Sancho?
I would play.
Those are two
So
options.
I wouldn't have Sterling and Saka or Rashford and Sancho. I'd probably have either Sterling and Saka or Sterling and Sancho personally. Because if I'm being honest at the moment, I think Saka looks better, not in a bad way, but I feel he will give them that bit better at the moment coming off the bench. Because when he come off the bench the other day, he completely changed the game. And I think when he come off the bench, I think because he's seen what's going on and you can overlook the game, I think it gives him a better position where because he can play quite fluid across the pitch in them areas. I think I'd have him coming off the bench, but I wouldn't necessarily say I would start Rashford and Sancho. It would be one or the other, but I would probably go with Sterling and Sancho.
Sterling and Sancho. Yeah, you go with.
I'd
Okay,
probably go
Oz.
with Sterling and Sancho.
Oz,
Nah,
what would you?
Sterling and
Sterling and
Saka for me.
Saka or
Yeah.
Rashford and Sancho?
Nah, Sterling and Saka for me. Personally.
Amen, brother. OTC, Sterling and Saka or Rashford and Sancho?
I can't lie, yeah. I'm talking about for the betterment of the team, not for the betterment. I think Sterling, yes, you are right. He has been our best player over the last couple of years in an England shirt. But has the team around him been the best that they can be with Sterling playing next to them? Probably not. And Kane as well. So for me, for the betterment of the team, I'll play Rashford and Saka. For me.
Rashford and Saka.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Rashford and Saka. And literally, Kane can sit deep, hold the ball, pass the ball left, right, and they can literally go into the channels and smack it in. Because right now, I don't think that partnership is working unless you drop Kane.
To be fair,
But you know
though,
what
I
I
wouldn't
don't
mind
understand
seeing
about
You
this.
drop,
What I
you
don't
drop
understand
Raheem
about this.
Sterling.
Can
Honestly,
I,
like
can,
you.
can I say
Yeah.
something?
I would personally, yeah.
Do you know what I don't understand about this though?
If you don't
When
drop Kane, you got to drop
say
Sterling.
Kane has
let's
to
let
drop
Andrew
deep. Who is the greatest finisher out of all these players that you're talking about? It's got to be Kane. So why is he dropping deep? I don't get it.
because he does it for
It's
Tottenham.
because
so
of
I
the
think he's
formation,
taking-
Oz. It's
Nah,
Gareth
taking
it just
us
doesn't
Southgate's
make no
formation,
sense
bro.
to me. The guy
But
like
Dan, who's your choice, Dan? Let's.
You said
Thank
Rashford and Sancho are England's best attacking players. He said it, innit, on the group, bro. So you know that's yeah. Unless you want to change it, Dan. But you know,
You said you asked him who you would pick. Like, obviously, can I answer the question? Thank you. So I would pick Rashford on the left, and it would either be Xhaka or Sancho on the right, because those two, those are going to be the technical players. So one of them could obviously, like I said, you need one technical player who's going to hold on to the ball. So Xhaka or Sancho, and I'll play Rashford on the left, just because I know Kane's going to drop deep and he wants to play those balls all the time. Rashford's going to run all day, every day.
I can't lie, I agree with Dan. I agree with
yeah,
Dan.
but you changed your mind, Dan. On our group chat, you basically saying Saka shouldn't be in the team, and
I
what
wouldn't
does he
mind
do when he
seeing
plays for England?
Rashford
And now
in
you're
the
saying
team.
it's between him and. So
You-
what is
you
it?
are-
Is it Sancho or Saka, man? Put your money
G-
on one player, bro.
G, I just answered the question. It is
Wait,
what it
wait.
is.
No, we had a
Saka
whole
or
discussion
Sancho?
about it, Dan. We had
On the right.
on the right, you said Sancho should be in the England team on the right. Are you saying that, or are you not saying that, blood? What are you saying?
On current form, yes. But what I'm saying is, if you had to pick players, come the World Cup, I would either pick Xhaka or Sancho on the right, and I'll play Rashford on the left.
We'll pick one. Anyway. We've all picked one. So who are you playing? So the World Cup, the first game is tomorrow. We're playing. What's it called? Who's it?
Iran.
I don't know who off. Who's it? USA, yeah.
Iran.
Oh, Iran, yeah. So tomorrow is the first game of the World Cup. Pick a player. Who are you playing? What's your front three, man? Tell us.
If I'm going on current form, then I would put Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right, Kane up front. But like I said, if it's a clean slate, I will pick Rashford on the left, either Sancho or Xhaka on the right, and Kane up front. But like I said, if you're going on current form right now, then Sancho has to play.
Okay, you said it then, yeah. So Sancho and Rashford, and you
So you
drop
do
Sterling
yours,
in.
then I'm going to end the broadcast because I'm going to let Oz get out. So I'll end the broadcast in a second. So who's your three? And then we'll end the recording part on that.
So
I'm
is that-
asking.
Me. I'll stick with Sterling, Kane, and Saka. For me, that's our. For me, that the thing is, I like Grealish, I like Sancho, I like Foden, I like so many of our players. I like Rashford when he's doing his thing as well, which is why I get so frustrated, boys. I'm just like, we've got this manager who's so negative when we've got so many technically gifted players, and that's what really. You guys don't really feel the same way in it because you're not really that England fans. I'm a big England fan. I really want to see us do well, and it frustrates the hell out of me that we've got these technically gifted players. We've got this manager who plays 5 in the back, 2 holding players. I mean, the only reason why he played Jollof Rice and Bellingham, bruv, is because Phillips was injured. Otherwise, he usually plays Calvin Phillips and Rice in that midfield. So not only have we got 5 at the back, we've got 2 DMs as well, blood, and then we're just basically looking for a bit of individual brilliance from one of our front three.
What's the reason why he plays 5 at the back?
Because he's just negative, Dan. He's
He
a
used to be a
negative
defender.
manager, bruv. You know what I mean? He's a defender. He basically believes on building from a solid base, isn't it? But I'm just fed up of watching the football, Dan. I say you're not an England fan, so you don't feel it like, say, me or OTC or Ozu. You know, we genuinely want to see the team play well and do well. And it just frustrates the hell out of me that because we play 5 at the back and Phillips and Rice in midfield, we've only got 3 attacking players, basically. And it's up to one of them or up to them to combine to do something to get us a goal. And
Well,
I'm just fed up of watching it. Like, I'm honestly, boys, I'm fed up of watching it.
On to be fair on Southgate, if he got his tactics correct, then it would actually be 5 attacking players because obviously those wing backs should be attacking, isn't it? That's the whole point of playing them. If you're going to play 3 at the back, as much as it's masking at least 1 or 2 off the centre backs, we know which one is obviously masking their flaws, but the whole point of playing 5 at the back.
You say that, but I'm telling you, if Maguire gets injured before the World Cup, yeah, I'm telling you, he'll still play 3 at the back.
No, if he plays